Okay, we're back on track. There's some updates. I haven't been recording as much. I'm in a new spot. I'm in a new location. Of course I am. I'm nomadic. If you've been around with the show long enough, you probably wonder half the time where I am in the world, especially now that you can see what kind of room I happen to be in. Today, we're going to be talking about identifying the blitz. Where do we get this idea from? So, last time I recorded a football analogy. It was one of my more commented on, not on Spotify, although you guys should comment on Spotify. It was one of my more commented episodes that people actually said, hey, I really like that analogy. And as a standalone episode, usually when I interview people, they tend to be better performing episodes. I'm sure partly people just don't want to listen to me all the time, and then maybe they have family and friends that they share it to as well. The football one was probably one of like top 3, top 5 viewed episodes of ones that's like a standalone, just me. When I keep saying the football episode, it's the Establish the Run episode. So now I'm going to make a little bit of a mini series of football terms and how these football terms apply to real life. Sports is one of the best things that you can really be in that has a lot of parallels to life. That's why I like fitness, and I am a fitness guy. But I think that's also what's really cool is I can now relate this to football, because football is one of my other passions. And it's a great analogy for real life. So just keep that in mind. If you're not the biggest football connoisseur in the world, I'll do my best to help you out here. This episode is going to be all about identifying the blitz. And it's really important that you learn to identify the blitz, what to do when you identify the blitz, and how to adjust to the blitz. What is a blitz? So let's talk about what a blitz is in football. You're the quarterback, which means you hut the ball and get the play in motion. Beforehand, you look out and you see what the defense is in. Based off of what the defense is in, sometimes they look like they're playing a normal defense, but they're hiding something. They're hiding a blitz. And that blitz is designed to put extra pressure on you so that you make a mistake or a bad play happens. And it catches you off guard because it throws you out of tempo. Sometimes they purposely make it look like they're blitzing you, but they back off. And that's also to make you second guess yourself. And it sets yourself up for future. When you really think about it, football is chess. And that's one thing that I'm really drawn to about it. So that's essentially what a blitz is. What is a blitz in life? Sometimes you can identify in life that things are going to come at you quicker, harder, or potentially more unexpected. And you just need to roll with the punches and adapt and improvise. So that's what a blitz is going to be, and we're going to dive way deep into that. Peyton Manning, standing at the line of scrimmage. If you know who Peyton Manning is, great. If you don't, he was one of the smartest quarterbacks that could identify the blitz right away. He looks to his left, he looks to his right, and he knows exactly what the defense is trying to do. His hands move, and he signals and barks language to the players around him on his team. So then they are, okay, we're changing play. Cool, awesome. And before the snap even happens, he already won the play in his mind. Why? Because he could see what they were going to do. What's super incredible, and there's a funny story of a football player named Ed Reed who purposely lined up in one spot, double backed because he was so athletic and fast to then trick Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady then later saw Ed Reed do that, and him and Bill Belichick had a game plan for knowing that Ed Reed could do stuff like that, which is incredible. Again, football is this cat and mouse game. It's a chess game. And there's an art to identifying the blitz. Most people miss that art. It's not a football skill. It's a life skill. And as a fitness trainer, I need to identify the blitz. I need to plan out what my clients need to do, but I also need to teach them and myself how to read the pressure of how life gets thrown at them. And we need to audible into a better plan or a better play, or just be aware that the blitz is coming and you don't have a lot of time, so you need to make the most of what it's done. So what is, again, the blitz in football? You send that extra pressure. Normally 4 guys go, sometimes 5 or even 6. And now there's more bodies, there's less time, higher stakes. If you recognize the blitz as a quarterback, it's all of a sudden a high risk, high reward play. Most of the time, you're either going to get a great play or you're going to lose a play. Sometimes, depending on the situation, it's okay to also just check it down and get what you can get, which means 3 or 4 yards. Think of establishing the run. Great quarterbacks don't panic when the blitz comes. Sometimes they do so well against the blitz that other teams barely blitz anymore to that specific quarterback. Other quarterbacks really struggle against the blitz, and so they get blitzed way more, and they need to learn how to actually handle it. Well, how do you handle it? You expect it. You prepare it. You watch for tendencies. You have systems in play that can handle the blitz. So first things first, you got to read the formations. Before anything happens, where are my guys lined up? Where are their guys lined up? Think about that in life. What are we doing? What's life trying to do at us? Knowing what play to change into based off of what you see. Or micro-changing what play you can do if there's no time to think. It's called the hot read. And you can change it to, hey, we're just going to get 7 yards here. Quick, easy, simple. Knowing your first option. Recognizing the tendencies and countering pressure with calm, decisive action. Right? And that's what can get things really interesting, is every single one of those maps directly onto high-level trainer guidance through clients of getting them through that blitz, the blitz of life. Again, Peyton Manning was famous for diagnosing these defenses in seconds. He studied film on it. He was prepared. He wasn't guessing. He could recognize. And the defense couldn't hide very much, if anything at all, except for that one example for Ed Reed. And I remember that because that was very unique. And it got put on like NFL films because of how crazy it was. A great trainer is going to do the same thing with their clients. We learn to read the formations of someone's life. Hey, John is dealing with this, and this problem. 7 out of 8 of my clients in the past couple years have dealt with that, and this is what actions we took to deal with it, and it really mitigated it a lot. As well as I know John's very unique situation with 2 kids at home, so this should potentially work, but this is the hot read. This is the audible, right? We learn to read someone's life before the pressure gets to them, and we call these audibles, right? A client mentions big work deadline coming up and that their sleep has been off and they've skipped the last 2 sessions last month around the same date. So that's a formation. The defense is lining up to blitz. We're going to miss them again. So maybe we do several different audibles. So first things first, hey, maybe an hour is too long. Let's do half an hour rather than just giving up. That's taking what the defense can give us. Or we do one of the 2 sessions. Those are both options. Or we do it on a different day where we do, if we're normally doing twice a week, let's do an extra one the week before and an extra one the week after. And when you can read these early warning signs, you don't panic, you're prepared, and you adjust. That's what most people get wrong. Calling an audible isn't quitting. It's not weakness. If anything, it's just making sure your strength lines up against what the opposite team is trying to do. Tom Brady, right? He steps up, he changes the play all the time. He's not trying to abandon what the initial idea was. He's trying to protect the drive and keep the drive going. Think of establishing the run. Your job is just to get the chains going again, get those 10 yards, and live to fight another day. Live to fight another down. Life will constantly blitz you, and your clients will definitely have a schedule that blows up. A kid that gets sick or breaks their arm. An injury that sidelines the original plan. And the amateur move is to throw everything away and just say, we'll start again next week. No. The elite move is to audible and get the most out of what you can, and sometimes you actually break free and you turn a negative into a positive. If you can't make that 60-minute lift, audible to a 20-minute session. If your knee keeps acting up, audible to mobility, upper body, and core. You're traveling for a week with no gym, get that extra session in before, adjust to body weight exercises, mobility, and then just set yourself up for success. Same goal, different play call, and you just keep momentum alive to keep the drive going. And that's what you do when the pressure comes in. The best trainers will teach this skill so it becomes instinct for clients, right? We want our clients to stay strong in the pocket and not fold up when the plan breaks. We want clients who stay calm. Okay, this is more challenging than I thought. This is going to come quicker than I thought, but we can do the best we can. The hot read, that's what you do when there's no time to think. The blitz comes so fast, even the audible wasn't prepared. So within that, you have a hot read, a pre-plan. You know what that tends to be? Frozen veggies and ground beef. Why? Because it goes with almost anything. It works easy, it's simple. Frozen veggies are pre-cut. They're already washed. You know it's healthy. You just have to put them in the oven. Ground beef, you just literally put in a frying pan, smash it up a bit, add some seasonings, and that's going to go with most things. It's simple, it's automatic, and it's what you default to when life gets overwhelming. Stressed and slammed, the 10-minute walk. Perfect. Don't have that meal prepped proper, what I just mentioned, right? Mentally fried at the end of a long workday. Turn your lights off, relax for a little bit, and go to bed early. The hot read is a pre-positioned plan, I already know I'm going to go there sort of plan, so that you don't have to have decision fatigue. And when the pressure peaks, you just know to go there. You just dump it off. And that's knowing your first option. You have a primary target of what you're trying to do. You know exactly where the ball is before the snap. You know exactly what the intended thing that you're trying to do. So maybe it's hitting your step count for the day, for the week. Maybe it's 3 workouts for the week, no matter what. And when life gets loud, everything else can get taken care of just by knowing that you need to lock in on that first initial thing. Clients know their primary target, and you don't need to spiral. If you can't go there, you go to your second target, your third target. That's the idea. Now, you're going to need to recognize tendencies. What do you have a tendency, and what does life have a tendency for you? End of month might become really hard for certain people, or different seasons in life. Again, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they knew that in 3rd and long, the tendency for this coordinator was to blitz. In the red zone, they knew they needed to disguise certain plays, and these patterns give you edge. What tendencies do you have, and what tendencies does life do? Most clients have a tendency on weekends to overindulge, overeat, and undersleep. Well, what if you just started to win the weekend by getting a workout in on the weekend, or even 2 of them, and then you just need to get one for the weekday? Also, knowing that you need to get your workout in, you might go to bed at a more reasonable hour, and you might minimize the alcohol because you know it's supposed to help you. What are your tendencies? And now the blitz isn't a surprise anymore, right? Sundays can be really tough for people, but if you meal prep on the Sunday, now you've set yourself up for the rest of the week. And that's recognizing your tendencies, right? You need to stay calm, especially when it's a 2-minute drill. End of game, right? Defense is screaming, crowds roaring, and you need to stay extremely calm. It's not a personality trait. It's something that you can be built through thousands of reps under pressure. And your clients, my clients, they feel that. And I need to stay calm when life gets chaotic for them. Almost every single client I have a conversation with within a week, there's something that's just off about what's going on with their life. And we need to adapt, but we just stay calm, we stay positive, and we persevere, and we get through it. This matters for trainers and for clients. Anyone can write a perfect program. The science of writing programs is all out there. But life isn't a perfect pocket. It's not a perfect situation. There's always going to be pressure. A blitz is guaranteed. And so sometimes it's not even a blitz. Sometimes your people who are supposed to protect you, your O-line, they just mess up. And you get pressure right away despite a blitz. And then you really need to know what to do in that situation. Sometimes in football, throwing the ball away is the best thing to do, and you live to fight another down. You sacrifice a wasted play to not have a setback. And sometimes that's one of the smartest things that you can do. But yeah, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be ready. You need to expect that there's going to be blitzes. You need to recognize it, and you need to adjust to it. So I like this series of football. I'm going to keep leaning into it. Shout out to Brandon for giving me this idea. But yeah, guys, recognize the blitz. It's coming. And there's nothing you can do about it other than be prepared beforehand, recognize it, and change it. But it's going to happen. So I want you to think about what recent blitz has happened in your life. And did you get sacked? Did you have a bad play? Did you fumble the ball? Did you throw an interception? Or did you get 7 yards? Did you make the right call? Did you audible into a run? What did you do to turn that negative into that positive? So that is today's episode. I hope you liked it. I enjoyed talking about football. Maybe I need to get Tom Brady on this podcast. If anyone knows Tom Brady, I'll settle for Peyton Manning. Please get us in contact. Okay, till next time.